Ever been overlooked, ignored, trampled over by the world around you? Yeah, you feel it, don't you? The weight of being invisible, like you don't even matter, like you're just a shadow in a world full of noise. Nah, they don't see you. They never did. Tease the power. But here's the thing. What if I told you that being ignored, being erased, is exactly how you'll make them wish they'd never crossed you? What if I told you that the pain they've inflicted, the rejection, the silence, that's your fuel, your fire? It's not weakness, it's power building. You don't need their approval. Hell, you don't need anyone's permission to rise. Promise. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to burn so bright that they can't look away. You'll impose yourself on them. Yeah, they won't even know what hit them. You'll leave a mark so deep, it's like a scar in their memory. Unforgettable. And trust me, they'll regret ever dismissing you. You ready? Then listen closely, 'cause it's time to make them pay. Being ignored, it's one of the most painful things, right? That feeling when no one sees you, when no one cares. It cuts. Feels like you don't even exist. Like you're a ghost walking through life. Nah, I get it. It hurts. But what if I told you that being ignored is actually your gift? Yeah, I'm serious. Because here's the thing, when the world overlooks you, it doesn't get to define you. It doesn't get to set your limits. You get to write your own story on your own terms. Being ignored is freedom. It's your chance to build, to rise, to show them all exactly who you are. They think you're nothing. Let them. They'll be the ones eating their words when they see the power you've been quietly building all along. So don't waste time crying over it. Don't beg for their attention. Instead, use that silence. Use it to fuel you. Because the world won't see you coming, but they'll be forced to notice when you take over. Why do they ignore you? Is it because they fear you? Do they see something in you they don't understand? Or is it simply that they're too blind to see your value? Let me tell you something. They ignore you because you scare them. Yeah, that's right. Intimidate them. They don't want to see the power you're capable of. It's easier for them to pretend you don't matter than to face the fact that you're a threat. Or maybe, just maybe, they're underestimating you. They think you're just another face in the crowd. But they're wrong. They don't see your fire. They don't see the storm inside you waiting to break free. They're too busy looking at the surface to see what's buried underneath. And then there's the cold truth. Some of them don't see your value because they're too focused on their own insecurities. They can't stand to acknowledge your greatness because it shines a light on their own weaknesses. So tell me this. Can you think of someone who's treated you this way? Someone who's ignored you, underestimated you, or just plain dismissed your worth? You want to know how to flip the script? Let me tell you about the Joker. That's right. The man who thrives on being underestimated, on being ignored. What do they see when they look at him? A joke, a clown. They think he's harmless. But here's the thing. The Joker doesn't wait for anyone to validate him. Nah, he doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't need their approval. He commands it. By being unapologetically himself, he thrives in the chaos, the rejection, the hatred. It fuels him. He doesn't back down. He doesn't apologize for who he is. And most importantly, he doesn't care if they ignore him. He's too busy making them regret it. The Joker knows something most people will never get. Being ignored is power. Being underestimated is fuel. And when you're that unstoppable, no one can ignore you for long. They'll be forced to notice. They'll be begging for your attention. So let me ask you, What's stopping you from being your own joker? From turning the tables, from embracing your own chaos and making them pay for every second they ever treated you like you didn't matter? The world tries to ignore you. They think they can just forget you. But here's the truth: in that silence, you grow stronger. Every moment they ignore you, that's time you've got to build. While they're out there making noise, you're in the shadows. And the shadows? They're your domain. That's where the real power lies. They think you're nothing. But you're building an empire in the dark. They can't see you. And that's your advantage. You're like the storm that's brewing in the distance. They don't even know what's coming. When the world sleeps on you, you're sharpening your mind, your skills, your body. They're busy ignoring you while you're busy becoming something they can't ignore. And when you step out of those shadows, they won't know what hit them. I want you to think back for a second. Can you remember a time when you were underestimated? When they thought you couldn't do it? Think about it. Now, think about how you came out on top, how you rose. You didn't need their approval to succeed. You didn't need their validation. You proved them wrong. You don't need to beg for attention. Nah. You don't have to beg anyone for anything. You have everything you need inside you to make the world take notice. The key? You impose yourself. First things first, stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for the world to validate your existence. You think they're going to hand you recognition? You have to take it. Take action without hesitation. Stop holding back. The moment you hesitate, you're giving them the power. Every time you move, make it bold, make it decisive. Every action should scream, I'm here. I'm real. I'm unstoppable. Speak your truth. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't water it down to make others comfortable. Speak so loudly with your words and actions that they have no choice but to listen. Become unshakable in your goals. When you decide to go after something, don't stop. Don't wait. Don't apologize. You're not here to fit into their world. You're here to create your own. And once you do that, they won't be able to ignore you. They'll have no choice but to recognize you whether they want to or not. You're not asking for attention. You're forcing it. And trust me, they'll regret ever looking the other way. Confidence isn't given. Nah, it's taken. And when they try to ignore you, that's your fuel. Use their dismissal as a reason to rise, to show them who you really are. They want to keep you down. Good. That just means you've got more room to grow. Here's the thing: confidence doesn't come from getting everything right. It comes from getting knocked down and getting back up stronger every time. It's the silent victories. The moments where you've been pushed to the edge and decided not to fall. That's when you learn who you really are. That's where your power starts. Now, here's how you build it. Start small. You don't need to conquer the world right away. Start with the little victories. Speak up in a meeting. Take a risk you've been avoiding. Show up when they think you'll back down. Each small win adds weight to your confidence. With every success, your belief in yourself grows. Momentum builds. And soon, they won't be able to ignore you. They won't be able to look past you. You'll be the one they're afraid to overlook. Because confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being relentless. And when you become that, there's no way they can stay blind to your power. As you grow, they'll start to feel your presence. Whether they like it or not, they won't be able to ignore you anymore. And here's the kicker: when they finally realize what they've been blind to, they'll wish they'd never underestimated you. You see, they thought you were nothing. They thought they could leave you in the shadows, forget about you. But while they were busy overlooking you, you were getting stronger, smarter, sharper. You were quietly building an empire. And now, they'll feel the weight of your rise. They'll see the monster they created by underestimating you. So let me ask you this, what will it feel like when they finally realize they've been wrong about you? When they see you standing at the top and they're still stuck where they left you? When they realize that every moment they ignored you was a moment they could have feared you? Think about it. When that moment comes, how will it feel to know you proved them wrong? In the end, it's not about them. It's about you. You impose your will on the world, and when you do, they have no choice but to accept your greatness. You don't beg for attention. You don't wait for permission. You show up, you take what's yours, and you make them see what they tried to overlook. When you finally unleash your power, they'll have no say. They won't have a choice but to recognize you. And once they do, there's no going back.